But Baylor look at this. Baylor going 1-8 is a legitimate possibility right now. That wouldn't be surprising.
And that's too overwhelming. You can't look at the whole season right now after a loss like this and say, man, we're going to just
But you can do it after 3 losses
this. That's not fair to say. That's very much not fair to say.
It is after 1-3, though, is it not?
Well, that's a loser attitude if you're going to do that. I don't think that's fair to say.
Or is it a realist attitude?
I think it's a loser attitude. I think if that were the case, then why even roll the ball out and play? If that was the case, there would be no reason to even play the games.
Right.
And so I think for Baylor, you maybe aren't super optimistic going forward. Maybe you're not feeling ecstatic about your chances, but at the same time, that's not for you to worry about. You just got to take it one play at a time, one series at a time, if you want to even stay remotely positive. Otherwise, you're going to drown and go head underwater.
Yes, stay positive. Right. That's fine. Expect to win every week. That's the goal, especially if you're on the team. But from someone looking outside in, that perspective, you can say Baylor might go 1-8, probably going to go 1-8, and accept that. Granted, there's still a lot to be decided on the football field. There's 6 games, 5 games left this season. But the outlook of those 5 games is not very bright. From a team perspective, yes, let's go win those 5. Right. But from this perspective, 1-8 is on the table, and it's probably what you're going to look at. It's probably what you're staring down the barrel of as it sits.
I think it's just too overwhelming to look at the whole season. A lot of ball to be played, a lot of things that can happen.
We've played half the season so far.
Right.
What is it going to take to flip? Not only do you have to flip the switch, you got to hit the breaker right now.
Right, and I think that's the thing. You just got to start with the next week. With the next week, you can't look at the whole season. That's way too much. You got to take it in smaller, more digestible pieces.
From a team standpoint,
right? Yes. I mean, I think even as a whole for Alabama, Alabama's a bad example.
Where are we going with this?
Okay, so my point is anything can happen, right? So 2 weeks ago, Clemson has Trevor Lawrence playing quarterback, right? This week, throw a freshman in there, have to have a crazy comeback effort. 3 weeks ago, they were probably looking at that Notre Dame game in a very different way. So all that's to say, that's maybe the more roundabout way to say my point, but the point being, it's sports. Anything can happen. Let's not count the eggs before they hatch.
Anything can happen.
Right.
Yes. We don't have to count the eggs, but I won't be surprised if Baylor goes 1-8 this season, and I don't think that I'm a pessimist for saying that because they won't be favored down the stretch, and the only game that seems remotely winnable looking forward is Texas Tech.